This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so today we will talk about the data types continuation. So when I'm talking about the data types here, I already discussed with okay, so I already discussed the numeric types. So in the numeric types you have int, float, and the complex. And today we'll start our discussion with the bool type. Right, so bool type. So what is this bool type basically? So bool type, this type of data, so this type of data will allow only true or false. So will allow only true or false. Okay, so only true or false. So whenever I'm saying bool, so bool will allow only true or false. Okay, so now for example, if I'm saying b1 is equal to true, so b1 is equal to true. Now let's say I will go for something like b1 is equal to true. Okay, so b1 is equal to true, and if I say type of b1, so what is the type of b1 over here? So type of b1 is going to be a bool. Okay, so type of b1 is going to be a bool. So what exactly we are trying to talk about here? So we are trying to talk about the bool type, so which will take only a bool value. So then you also have something like false. So what this false will be taking? So false, you will be having b2, so which is telling you this is also a bool type. This is also a bool type. So what exactly we are trying to talk about here? We are trying to talk about true and false. Okay, so true value here and false value here. Okay, so true value and the false value. Okay, so only two values. Only two values. So these are known as the bool values. Okay. Then we have finally the none type. Okay. So none category. So under the none category, you have the none type. Okay. So under the none category, you have the none type. So this type of data will allow. So will allow only none. Okay, only none. So where none means nothing. None means nothing. So what is none basically? So none means nothing. None means nothing. So what we are talking about here? So we are talking about none, which means nothing. Okay, so which means nothing. We will be using it later. For now, we will not be using it. Now I'll say n1 is equal to none. N1 is equal to none. So if we are saying type of N1, so what is the type of N1 over here? So type of N1 is none type. So none type, okay, so none type, so is going to be nothing type. Okay, so nothing, no value. Okay, none means no value. So type of N1, which is nothing. Okay, so in this way, you are looking at the none value. Okay, so you are looking at the none value. So what exactly is none? None means nothing. Okay, so these are the single value data types. Okay, what are the single value data types that we have? The single value data types that we have are, so integers. Okay, so you have float values and you have complex values. Okay, so you have boolean values. Okay, so true and false, and you have none value. So these are all the single valued types. Okay, so all the single valued types. So this is int, and this is float, and this is complex, and this is going to be a bool type, and this is going to be a none type. Okay, so these are the things which we learn under the single value data types. Now coming to the multi-value data types. So now we will talk about multi-valued data types. types. So multi-valued data types. Okay, so multi-valued data types. So whenever I'm talking about multi-valued data types, so these are nothing but these are a collection of elements. These are a collection of elements. Okay, so what are these? These are a collection of elements. So multi-value data types means these are a collection of elements. Okay, so in this we have various categories. The first category is going to be sequential category. Okay, so or you can say simply sequence category. Okay, so sequence category. So under the sequence category, you have the first one as str. Okay, so you have the first one as str. So what does str describe? It describes a collection of one or more. Okay, so it describes a collection of one or more characters. Okay, so one or more characters under the quotes. Okay, under the quote. So we have various types of quotes. Okay, so suppose for example, so you have single quotes. Okay, so types of quotes you have. So what are the types of quotes you have? You have single quotes, you have double quotes, so you have triple single quotes, and you have triple double quotes. Okay, so you have triple double quotes. So and triple single quotes. Okay, so triple single quotes, triple single quotes here, triple double quotes here. So you have single quotes and you have double quotes. Okay, so these are all str types. Okay, so these are all str types, and now we will call them as. Okay, so we will call them as. Okay, so we will call them as a collection of one or more characters under the quotes. So we will call them as uh, a sequence category. So why we call them as sequence category? So we call them as sequence category because okay, so we will call them as sequence category because they will have a collection in a sequence. Okay, so they will have a collection in a sequence. Okay, so what type of sequence that we can see, I'll tell you. Okay, so these are organized using a sequence of integers. Okay, so these are organized using a sequence of integer called index. Okay, so these are organized using a sequence of integers called index. Now for example if I say so now for example if I'm saying hello python, so if I'm saying hello python, so this is a collection of integers. So if I'm saying hello python here, so this can be organized as HELLO space here, and here PYTHO and N. Okay, so in this way it is organized, and what you observe here 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 and 11. So what is this? This is called as the index. This is called as the index. So basic idea of the index here, so it will range from 0 to the total length minus 1. Okay, so length of the string minus 1. Okay, so this will range from 0 to len of str minus 1. So suppose for example, what is the strength of, I mean, what is the length of the str? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. Okay, so 12. So 0 to len of str is 12 minus 1. So what is 12 minus 1 here? So 0 to 11. Okay. So the total length is going to be 12. So the and minus 1. Okay. So minus 1. So what is minus 1 here? So total length minus 1. Okay. So total length minus 1. So total length minus 1. So it is going to be 0 to 11. Okay. So 0 to 11. Okay. So the basic idea of the str is it will range from 0 to 11. So 0 to 11, which is going to be 12 minus 1, which is going to be 0 to 11. Okay, so that's the basic formula for the index. Okay, and moreover, this is called as the positive index. Okay, this is called as the positive index. So what is positive index? I'll tell you. So this is known as the positive indexing. So positive indexing. So whenever I am saying positive indexing, the type of indexing, the type of indexing for a collection that range from zero to len. So len of the string minus one. Okay, so len of the string minus one. So now, for example, uh, what is the string name here? Hello Python. Okay, so hello Python. Let me put that hello Python in S1. Okay, so S1 is equal to hello Python. Okay, so S1 is equal to hello Python. So whenever we are talking about hello Python, okay, so hello Python. So now, for example, if I'm saying len of S1, okay, so len of S1, hello Python. So 12. So 12. So 12 is the total length. So how can I find the total length? So total length of S1. Okay, so total length of S1 is going to be len of S1, which is going to be 12. Okay, so it is going to be 12. So total len of S1 is going to be 12. So you are getting total len of S1 is going to be 12. Okay, so then I'm saying we will range from 0 to len minus 1. Okay, so 0 to len minus 1. So what is 0 to len minus 1 means? 0 to len minus 1 means we'll start at 0 and go on up to 12 minus 1 means, so the range will go from, range of index is from 0 to len of s1. Okay, so 0 to len of s1 minus 1. So that means, so 0 to len of s1 minus 1 means 0 to 0 to. So what is the meaning of this? 0 to, so 0 to, so len of s1 is nothing but 12 minus 1. So what is 12 minus 1 basically? 12 minus 1 is 0 to 11. Okay, so 0 to 11. Okay, so 0 to 11. Okay, so what we are looking at here, so range of the index, so 0 to len of s1 minus 1, which is nothing but 12 minus 1, so 0 to 11. Okay, so okay, right, so this is positive indexing for you. So then you also have, so the same thing I told you. Okay, so same thing I told you here. So this is what the point is. And we also have negative indexing. So what is negative indexing? same hello Python. So same hello Python. So we will have the sequence noted from -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7, -8, -9, -10, -11, and -12. Okay. So what is this basically? So the range of index ranging from, so this is negative indexing for you. Okay. So this is also indexing, but this is negative indexing. So negative indexing will range from where? Will range from total length to minus length to -1. Okay, so minus length to -1. So what is my point here? So my point is the negative indexing will range from, okay, so we have, this is negative indexing. Okay, so negative indexing will range from minus len of str of str of I mean not -1, so minus len of str to -1. Okay, so what is this? It will range from minus len of str to -1. Okay, so what I'm talking about here, I'm talking about, okay, okay, so what we are talking about here? So we are talking about the type of indexing for a collection that range from minus len of str to -1. So minus len of str in the sense what? So if you go for minus len, so minus len means minus len of s1 to -1. What is minus len of s1? It is nothing but 12. 12 to -1. So minus 12 to -1. So you are having the range of values from -12 to -1. Okay, -12 to -1. So what we are trying to observe here, we are trying to observe that we are having positive indexing also and negative indexing also. Okay, so positive indexing as well as negative indexing. So positive indexing will range from 0 to len of str -1. So negative indexing will range from minus len of s1 to -1. So once you understand this indexing, this will be applied to all the other things also. Okay, so this will be applied to all the other things also. Okay, so then we can access the elements. So we can have all types of things on the str. So we will talk about all that when we come back again to discuss str. Okay, so for now we will just finish off all the types. Then when we come to str, we will talk in detail about how we can access the elements, how we can work with the index to fetch the elements. All the discussion we will do it. Okay, so we will do it. So then we will talk about the next thing. Okay, so we will talk about the next thing, which is going to be the list. Okay, so we will talk about the list type. Okay, so we'll talk about the list. So it is a heterogeneous collection of elements. Heterogeneous means all types. Heterogeneous means all types. Okay, heterogeneous collection of elements. Okay, heterogeneous collection of elements. So what is list here? List is a heterogeneous types of or heterogeneous all types of collection of element, means it contains everything. So it contains everything in the sense it contains numbers, floats. Okay, so it contains everything literally. Okay, so list is a heterogeneous all types of collection of elements stored in a sequence. sequence using the index. Okay, so using the index, so we can have a list of elements. We can have a list of elements using the following notation. So we can have the list of elements using the following notation. So what is that? List name is equal to collection of elements. Collection of elements. So list name is equal to collection of elements. Okay. So what we are talking about here? So we are talking about list name is equal to collection of elements. Okay. So whenever I'm saying list name is equal to collection of elements, so what kind of collection of elements here? All types of elements. All types of elements. Okay. So for example, let's say list name is LST. So we will have 5, comma 8, comma 9, comma 3, comma 2. Okay. All types of elements I told you, right? So I'll say 55, 8.26 or 8.25 and 2 minus 2j. Okay. And you will have something like true. So you can have none, and you can have a string. Okay, so you can even have a list itself. Okay, so you can even have a list itself, and you can even have duplicate elements. Okay, so you can even have duplicate elements. So okay, that point also we'll try to make a note here. It may contain duplicate elements. It may contain duplicate elements. Okay, so list may contain duplicate elements also. Okay, so it may contain duplicate elements. Duplicate elements means the elements which are getting repeated. So elements which are getting repeated. Okay, so elements which are getting repeated. Okay, so elements which are getting repeated. So now here if you observe, true is getting repeated, and none is also getting repeated. So now what we are talking about? So we are talking about a collection of elements, that is all types of elements. So that are stored in a sequence using the index. So it may contain duplicate elements. So it can even contain duplicate elements. So we can have a list of elements using list name is equal to collection of elements. Okay. So in that way, okay. So in that way, so you are going for, okay. So okay, so this is how list. Okay, then again, uh, this is also having what I told you, a sequence which is called as indexing. Okay, so now what I'm talking about, I'm talking about, okay, so one second. Okay, so here what I'm trying to talk about is, so this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, this is 6, and under 6 you have again 0, 1, 2, and this is 7, and this is 8. Now we have a collection of elements. So ranging from 0 to total length minus 1. So what is the total length here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 minus 1, which is going to be 0 to 8, as you can see. Okay, so this is positive indexing. Then what about negative indexing again? So this is going to be minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. Okay, so minus 4, minus 5, minus 6, minus 7, minus 8, and minus 10. And of course, this also it will become minus 1, minus 2, and minus 3. Okay, so like that, you can have the negative indexing. So as I've told you, it will be same for it will be same for both. Okay, so both or any collection for that matter. Okay, so it is same for any collection. Okay, so it is same for any collection. So list, the name of the list. So you have collection of elements. So you have a list. So in that list you have all this. Okay, so that list will contain positive indexing, negative indexing. Okay, so because the collection of elements positive and negative indexing, they follow positive and negative indexing. So what is the specialty of this? The specialty of this list is it can contain all types of elements. It contains all types of elements. Okay, so it contains all sorry, okay, so it contains all types of elements. Okay, so it contains all types of elements. Okay, right. Okay, anything, any element. So it can be a string, it can be the future elements also. Okay, and one more very important point that to be noted here is the list is mutable. List is mutable. Mutable means that is we can alter the elements, comma, add or delete the elements. Okay, so the list is mutable. We can alter the element, add or delete the elements. Okay, so add or delete the elements. Okay, so we can add the elements or delete the elements. Okay, so anything we can do for that matter. Okay, so means we can resize the list. We can make the list small. We can make the list big. Okay, so all types of changes we can make. So that is why we call it as mutable. So then what about str? Str is immutable. Means we cannot increase or decrease the size and all. Okay, so that I can mention it over here. Okay, so I'll highlight here itself. So it is immutable. It is immutable. That is, so why it is immutable? Because there cannot be any changes. There cannot be any changes. So changes means so you cannot increase, you cannot decrease. Okay, so you cannot update. Okay, so all okay. So all that. Okay, so it is immutable. There cannot be any changes. Okay, so it describes a collection of one or more characters under the codes. It is immutable. So it cannot be having any changes basically. Okay, right. Okay. Okay. So then we will talk about the next structure. Again, we need to revisit all these things. Okay, so remember, we need to revisit these things. So when we revisit, we will talk about how we can change, how we can update and all. So third one, we are talking about tuple. So tuple, so it is a collection of elements. Okay, so it is a collection of elements. Okay, so it is a collection of elements. So what is a tuple? Tuple is a collection of elements which do not, okay, So collection of elements which cannot be, okay, or else I'll write collection of elements similar to a list, but it cannot be, but it cannot be updatable. It cannot be updatable. So it cannot be updatable. Okay. So it is a collection of elements similar to a list, but it cannot be updatable. That is, it is immutable. It is immutable. Okay. Cannot be updatable, which is immutable. Okay. So it is same as the collection of elements. Okay. So you have all the collection of elements, but the only thing is, so you will represent it. Okay, so I'll show you how we can represent it. So we can have a tuple of elements using tuple name, So you will have, okay, sorry, you will have regular braces. Okay, so you'll have regular braces. So these are called regular braces. So you will have these regular braces. Okay, so regular braces you have. So this is a collection of elements. Okay, collection of all types of elements same. So instead of list, I can say TPL. Everything is same. Everything is same, but the only thing is we cannot update. Okay, so we cannot update. So there is no update possible. Okay, so there is no update possible. So again, this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So again, this is -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7, -8, and -9. Okay. Again, this will be like 0, 1, 2, -1, -2, -3. Again, this is like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, 1, 2. So like this. Okay. So this is like again a collection. This hello is a collection, 897 is a collection. So it can have the elements like this also. Okay, so this is the way that we can go for the things. Okay, so it can go for the things. Okay, so what we are talking about here, so we are talking about, okay, so what cannot be done with the tuple, so we cannot update. Okay, so we cannot update. So the list and tuple are similar. The only thing is, so we can update the list, but we cannot update the tuple. So that's the major difference. Okay, so then we will talk about the range. So range is a collection of elements. Okay, so it is a collection of elements, is a collection of numbers, I should say. Collection of numbers, and that too integers only. So collection of numbers which are integers only. Okay. In a specified range. So in a specified range. Okay. So it is a collection of numbers that is integers only in a specified range. Okay. So in a specified range. So whenever I'm talking about a collection of numbers, integers only in a specified range. Okay. So a range come in three forms. The range comes in three forms. Okay. The range comes in three forms. Okay. So what are the three forms? I'll tell you. Okay, so three forms. The first form is going to be range of number. Okay, so you can use some number. So for example, if you are giving range of, let's say, 5, so it will give you from, okay, so range of number gives the numbers, use the numbers from 0 to 4. 4 means what? Okay, or I should say 0 to number minus 1. Okay, so 0 to number minus 1. So for example, range of 5. So range of 5. So which will give you numbers from 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. So range of 5. So what we need to do here is we need to put this range. We need to put this range something like this. Okay. Suppose if I am just keeping it like this. Okay, sorry. If I am just saying list of range of 5. Okay. So instead of saying like that, I can just say list of range of 5. So you will get 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So because simply if you are using range, it won't work. Okay. So simply if you are using range, it won't work. So that is why we need to have, okay. So that is why we need to have to say list of range of 5. So list of range of 5 is going to give you, okay. So list of range means list of numbers. Okay. So list of numbers I am saying. So list of range of 5. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So here, so list of range of 5. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we are having list of range of 5 in the sense 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So this is what it is. Then you are having the second format. So always starts from 0 only. So 0 to number minus 1. So you will have start number and you will have end number. So start number. So use the number from start number 2. From start number 2, end number minus 1. Okay. So suppose for example, if I am giving 1 comma 8. So it will give you from, it will give you from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So why it is giving you from 1 to 7 only? Because start number 2 end number minus 1. Okay. So same thing, I'll write it over here. So again, I'll say list of range of 1 comma 8. Okay. So list of range of 1 comma 8. So you are going to get from 1 to 7. Okay. So you are going to get from 1 to 7. So what are we getting here? So we are getting 1 to 7. Okay. So you are getting 1 to 7. Okay. So this is the way that you are getting the list of range of 1 comma 8. So what is 1 comma 8 here? 1 comma 8 is nothing but 1 to 7. Okay, so 1 to 7. So in that way you are going to have the range. Okay, so if you give two numbers, if you give two, so only integers you can give. So you cannot have any other numbers. So you cannot have any other numbers. Okay, so in that way you are going to give. Okay, so then, so you are having start number, end number, and step. So gives the number from start number to end number. End number will be exclusive. End number will be exclusive. Always remember. Okay, with a given step. With a given step. So with a given step. So what do I mean by this given step? I'll tell you. Okay, so just write it like this. So range of start number, end number, comma step means, now for example I'm saying, always you put the list because without list we cannot go for it. Okay. So 1 comma 8 comma 2 if I'm saying. So 1 comma 8 comma 2 if I'm saying, so I'm getting 1, 3, 5 and 7. Okay, so 1, 3, 5 and 7. So 1, 3, 5 and 7. So why I'm getting 1, 3, 5 and 7. Okay, so 1, 3, 5 and 7. So if you observe here, so generally 1 to 8 actually. Okay, so 1 to 8. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Okay, so we are saying first number inclusive. First number is inclusive. So 1 is coming and go with a step 2. So plus 2. So 1 plus 2, you are having 3. So you are getting 3. Okay. So you are getting 3. Okay. Again plus 2, you are getting 5. Again plus 2, you are getting 7. So in that way, you are getting 1, 3, 5, 7. You are getting 1, 3, 5, 7. Now, for example, if I am saying list of range of, let's say 21 to 35, and with the step 3, let's say. So with the step 3, what you are getting? You are getting 21, 24. Okay, so 21, 24. So you are getting, so 21, so 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. So we'll put a sequence first. 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34 and 35. Okay. So 21 presented. So plus 3, 21 plus 3, or you can say every third number. So like that also you can say, but plus 3 is very easy. So this will be 24, again plus 3, 27, again plus 3, 30, again plus 3, 33. That's it. Okay, so you are having these things. Okay, so now you are having the step over here. So this is the way we work with the range. So these are all coming under the sequence category because somehow they are totally dependent on the sequence. So list, str and tuple belong or depend on the index. When you see the range, so range is directly generating the numbers. Okay, so generating the sequence of numbers. Okay, sequence of numbers. So that is why I'm saying directly or indirectly depending on the sequence. So that is why we call them as sequence category of numbers. Okay, sequence category of numbers. So this is the way that we look at into the sequential types. So in our next session, okay, okay. So in our next session, we will be understanding the other things. Okay, right? Okay. So this is that we are going to look at the data types. Okay, so data types. So we have the bytes array left over, and we have the set category, we have the map category, and tomorrow we will start operators. Okay, so operators. So operators will be the instructions. The first instructions we will be talking about. Okay, so that's it. Hope everyone understood. If you have any doubts, any questions, you can ask me now. Yeah, Lakshmi Prashureddy, any questions you can ask me. Okay, okay. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.